Is it better now? Is it better now? So hello everybody. All right, so we are good to go. Apologies for the plenty network glitch here and there. Okay, so I will manage and cope. I was trying to put a fan on, but we'll be fine in Jesus' name. All right, so what I was explaining is that for your child, before your child will hit puberty, they should have transitioned mentally into puberty. Transitioning is a process and it means preparing your child. Now, part of the things you're doing to prepare your child is helping them to understand their changing body. So you're going to teach your child about the changes that will occur in their body as they progress. You're going to teach your child about feeling safe to ask questions. The problem is that a lot of children, because we withhold all this information, we try to demonize them. So many parents at this point, can't even mention sex in the front of their children. To them, it's one big word. It's one big, terrible thing. So you can't even mention it. You can't even say, oh, this is sex. You can't even teach your child about sex education because we have demonized sex. Our culture has demonized sex. Everything about us has demonized sex. So we see sex as a bad word. Now you want to teach your child about transition. You want to teach your child about puberty. You're seeing it as a bad word. You can't even talk to your child. Now, I was teaching parents about the things, that was about 3 days ago. I was teaching them about the things they're supposed to teach their children before the age of 7. And part of it is naming the body parts. Naming the body parts doesn't mean this one, hello, welcome. This one we are sugarcoating, you're calling wee wee poo poo, this, that's that. I mean calling them by their name, calling them by what they are. Let your child understand that vagina is vagina. Penis is penis. Call them by their word. So part of the transitioning process or walking your child through puberty is helping them understand their body parts, helping them name their body parts, helping them identify their body parts. It's so unfortunate that some children, you have some teenagers who do not even know the proper name of their body parts. So walking your child or preparing your child through puberty means getting them ready before puberty finally comes or before the actual onset of puberty. Another one is you're helping your child as you walk them through puberty, you're helping them develop confidence and self-respect. When a child is grounded, when you've done your part, your child will be confident enough. Your child will be confident enough when they come to puberty. I was in church one day and I met a child. She's same age with my daughter, but a little bit chubbier. And I noticed that she was already budding breast and she was, like the clothes she wore was transparent. And I called the mom. I said, your daughter is already in her pre-pubertal age. At this point, you're supposed to have taught her everything that has to do with puberty. And aside that, you're supposed to guide her. You're not supposed to be exposing her genitals at this time. And then I ordered her to go and get, these short bralettes that girls wear. And thank God she obeyed. She went and she did the same. She did as instructed. Some of you, you know your daughters are budding breasts already, and these children are roaming around, and you have boys in the house. You have boys in the house. So we need to teach these children, we need to prepare them ahead. If you have a child, I repeat, if you have who is 6 years old, 7 years old, and they don't know what puberty is at this time, you've not taken your time to teach them about menstrual flow, you've not taken your time to teach them about budding of breast, you've not taken your time to teach them about discharge, you're making a very big mistake. At this point, your child, your 7-year-old should know everything about hygiene, body changes, hygiene. As girls progress, in fact, the moment they get to age 10, 11, 12, you start noticing some terrible body odor. That is the hormone playing a part. That's the hormone preparing, the hormone telling you welcome, the hormone telling you that, oh, I'm ready, or we are getting ready. You're no longer a child, you're transitioning. So your child should know all these things. And I don't need to tell you that at this point, you should up your child's hygiene game. At this point, roll on and the rest becomes very necessary. At this point, your child should know, if you have a daughter, your daughter should know that there's something called discharge, and it's part of your transitioning process. Your daughter should know that there's something called menstrual flow, and it can happen anytime. You know, one of the bad things they did for us as people growing up, I don't know about you, but what my parents did, my mom, was warning us, telling us about, hey, oh, now that your period has come, boys, run, no. Once you talk to boy, pregnancy. Once you talk to boy, if you're on this stream, and that is your own idea of sex education, please repent. Repent now. That is not sex education. That is fear-based teaching. That is fear-based teaching. If you want to teach sex education, if really you want to teach sex education, you have to learn it. You have to equip yourself. You don't want to teach your children fear. You don't want to use fear to sell sex education to them. Because sex education is actually a conversation. It's an ongoing conversation. So as your children are moving, you start from body safety. Body safety starts from age 1, age 2, age 3. As they are transitioning, as they are moving, as they are growing, you progress. So it's an ongoing process. It's not a one-off process. It's not a one-off process. It's not a one-off process. We have a book on that. Teach sex education with ease. It's there. It's as low as 2,000 naira. You can get it. It's yours for life. It's yours for life. Now, preparing your children for puberty is not about teaching biology. It is about learning healthy hygienes, learning healthy habits, teaching your children about healthy hygienes, healthy habits, about self-respect, about confidence, about asking safe questions. Can your children ask safe questions? Can they ask you safe questions? That's the question. Is your child free? Can your child come and ask safe questions? A lot of you, your children can't come. Your children can't come. Why? Because you have drawn so much line that your child can't even cross. Because there's no relationship. You didn't start the conversation on time. So they can't come because you didn't create room for them to have that conversation with you. To have that conversation with you. All right? So, puberty is the stage where a child's body begins to change into that of adult. So, it's a process of transition. Everybody, whether you're a boy, whether you're a girl, experiences puberty differently. Experiences puberty. The other time, I was in a school. And in that school, I asked a question. I said, how many of you are now in your period? And out of some girls were already in primary 5, others were in primary 2, primary 3, primary 4. Now there are some in primary 3 who have already started seeing their period, while there are some in primary 5 who are not seeing their period yet. So you see, puberty comes differently to everybody. Some children will enter puberty early, some children will enter puberty late, children will enter puberty at the normal time. It all depends on their body psychology or their body biological makeup. It depends on their biological makeup. I remember during our SS3, as at SS3, as at the time we were writing WAEC, we had a classmate then who hasn't even started seeing her period. No breasts on the chest, no seeing of period. Her parents took her to different hospitals, they did different diagnoses and the rest. And what happened? Late arrival of puberty. So puberty comes differently to every child, differently to boys, differently to girls. So don't say, oh, because my friend's daughter started seeing her own by age 8, my child should see their own by age 8. It doesn't work that way. Unfortunately, nobody can be able to dictate when puberty will come. It comes when it's ready. When it's ready, at the right time, whenever it needs to come, is when it will come. Now, children, puberty is normal and not something to fear. This is something you should teach your child. This is something you should teach your child. So when they start seeing pubic hair, they're not supposed to start fainting or start dying or start panicking or start crying. It's normal. It's part of life. Can I ask you to go and teach your child? Tell your child. You see, vulnerability is a skill in parenting. I always say this, that vulnerability is a skill. So tell your child that you were once like them, you became mature, and this is where you are now. So let them understand that is a process that they are supposed to pass through. By teaching them that you passed through that same process. You passed through, your husband passed through, your wife passed through, everybody else passed through that process. So puberty is a process of transition. So your children are supposed to know that these changes happen because of their hormone. Hormones are chemical messengers. So they happen because of this hormone. When it says it's time to do this, the hormone carries the message. Teaching puberty to your children should be the simplest thing so far. It's not difficult. It's not difficult. Walking your children through puberty, your child should know what is expected of them during puberty. Your daughter should know that the onset of menstrual flow indicates that the body is ready to become a mother, that the body is ready to welcome pregnancy. These are the things they should know. These are the things. So I'd like us to answer some questions, even as we go through the teaching. 1, what have you heard about puberty before? These are the questions you're supposed to ask your child, or you're going to ask your child. You can take a mental note of it. Ask your child. If you have a preteen, if you have preteens are the one from age 6 to 8. So if you have a preteen, go home and ask them, what have you heard about puberty? What do you think puberty is? What do you understand by the word puberty? What changes have you noticed in yourself or your classmates lately? Is there any changes? Do you know have you observed any changes in your body? And then why do you think our bodies change as we grow? Use these 3 questions to introduce puberty to your children. Ask question. Number 1 question is, what have you heard about puberty? Ask your child, what have you heard about puberty? What have you heard about puberty? Now, when your child has responded to you, now the second question is, what changes have you noticed in yourself or your classmates lately? Because I Promise you there are a lot that your children have noticed, but they are not going to say, except if you ask, or except if the environment is conducive enough. Then the third one is, what do you think our bodies, why do you think our bodies change as we grow? This will help you open the conversation. It will help you open the conversation, then you progress into the meaning of puberty. What puberty is, that puberty is a process of moving from childhood to adulthood. It simply means that your body is now ready to become that of an adult. And what happens when someone's body changes from that of a child to that of an adult? You're ready to have a child. You can get a woman pregnant. You should expect pubic hair, enough sweating, and of course, body odor is part of it. And then for the girls, menstrual flow, vaginal discharge, strong body odor, mood swing. Those of you that have teenagers at home, and all of a sudden your teenager wakes up in the morning and refuses not to talk to anybody, and you're shouting, "This girl, I don't know what is wrong with her. She will wake up, she will not greet. She will wake up." Ma, can I tell you that it's part of puberty? Can I tell you that it's the hormone that is acting out and not your child? That is why you need knowledge to guide your teenagers so that you don't break them. I tell you a story. So sometime, was it this term or last time? I can't really remember. We got up and my first daughter, who is a teenager, that morning, what happened? She started crying. She started throwing tantrum, different drama here and there. Usually we go to school by 7 o'clock. That morning I sat 2 minutes, okay, let's say 5 minutes to 7. Usually my kids by 6:30 they are having their breakfast. By 6:45, everybody's getting their school bag and getting ready. So by 6:55, they're already, filing up into the car and getting making sure they're not forgetting anything. By 7 o'clock, we're out of the compound, 7 on the dot. But on this day, Madam was acting out. 5 minutes to 7, she was not dressed. She was just on the bed. This minute she's crying. Next minute she's angry. I asked her, what exactly is the problem? She said, the sister did something about 4 days ago. I said, 4 days ago, and it's today you remember and you want to cry. As I, emotions, I was, thank God for the fact that I have gone through the emotional intelligence class. Thank God for the fact that I am a parent coach. I just took my time. Even when my husband was like, what is wrong with her? I said, please, let her be. Let her be. And I told her, I said, Ma, you have 2 minutes to meet us outside. And she dressed up and came out and entered the car and left. You know what happened? That was the hormone playing out. And at that point, if you're not emotionally intelligent, you will crush that child. If you're not emotionally equipped, you will crush that child. So most of this acting out you see in girls or boys, they wake up in the morning, emotions everywhere, tantrums everywhere. Some of them are not intentional. They are just hormones that they've not learned to control. They are hormones that they've not learned to control. So when you say, oh, this time, I want you, I told you, you're frustrating me, you're killing me, you're breaking the child. Focus on the emotions driving that behavior, not the child. I always tell parents, a lot of the time, we're always focusing on the child. You're always focusing on the behavior. You're focusing on the behavior. You're not addressing the emotion behind the behavior. You've not asked your child, why is this child behaving like this? Why is this child behaving like this? Oh, she's naughty. I told her to wash toilet. She refused. I told her to wash plate. I went out. I came in. I saw the plate. It's not washed. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to. You haven't asked. You haven't asked. That is why that relationship is not there. At that point, the child needs you to say, okay, what happened? I asked you to do this. Oh, ma, what happened? You were supposed to be ready for school today. What happened? I hope you know, for those of you that are raising girls, I hope you know that girls are very clingy and can be very petty. So they want you to ask them. They want you to hear from them. They want you to draw near to them. But when you want to bring them the Alpha and Omega, when you want to say that I'm the authoritarian parent, you must do what I say, you will crush that child. You will see I took a sample. I did a survey some weeks ago, and I asked parents, tell me the challenge you have with your child. And a lot of them, she doesn't talk to me. She doesn't talk to me. She would rather talk to her friends. She would rather talk to her neighbor. She doesn't talk to me. Have you now seen why your children don't talk to you? Have you now seen? Do you now see why they will not talk to you? Because most of the times you're not addressing the emotion, you're addressing the behavior. Oh, the child is disrespectful, so you punish the child for being disrespectful. What happened? What caused it? Why was the child disrespectful? You have not asked. You haven't asked. You haven't asked. So when we say come for emotional intelligence course, this is what we mean. A lot of us need to be emotionally intelligent. A lot of us need to be empathetic. These children have not lived this life before. They're just navigating. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know what next to do. Bible said that foolishness lies in the bosom of a child. These children are as good as foolish. They don't know what to do. A child wakes up in the morning, her period starts, she starts crying. She's frustrated. They're going to laugh at me. I remember them in secondary school. Whenever you have your period, sometimes if you don't feel like going to school, some of us will now tie cardigan. Like we go to school with extra cardigan. That cardigan gives us protection in case we stain our uniform. Why? And then you see a child who has gone through this emotional struggle, and then you add your own beating because you asked her to do something and you came back and she didn't do it. See, you're going to be tested. Your level of emotional intelligence will be tested in your time of frustration, in your time of stress, in your time of pressure. That's when you know if truly you're emotionally intelligent. In the time of pressure, time of frustration, time of stress, that is when we know the people that are emotionally intelligent. By the time your children frustrate you, by the time they throw tantrum, by the time you give instruction and they flag it, by the time they cross your boundary over and over again, that is when we will know if truly you're emotionally intelligent. Let's run. Now, let's look at the common changes that are likely to occur in girls as they transition. 1, breast development. 2, growth sprouts. 3, wider hips. 4, hair growth, underarms, private parts, and the private area, oily skin and pimples, sweating and body odor, menstruation and emotional changes. Your daughter should know all these things. Your daughter should know all this. You're supposed to teach her these things. Teach her these things. Let them know it. Let them know it so that when it comes, it will not be foreign to them. It will not be foreign. Explain to them that a period is when blood comes out from their vagina for a few days every month. It is a normal sign that the body is growing. They should know what period is. The way I teach the children in primary school period, I say, imagine that you're a baby Or imagine your womb is a place you prepare for a baby every month, and when the baby doesn't come, the blanket is removed. The blanket they use in waiting for the baby is removed, and that is your period. So you're going to teach your children how to get ready. For the girls, how to get ready. It's not difficult. It's not scary. By the time you start having these conversations with your children will trust you for life, and they will even tell you the conversations that are deeper. They will tell you about their relationship, they will tell you about their crushes. I hope you know that your child is going to crush on somebody, that your daughter will crush on a boy at some point in their life. That is also a normal part of development. So that when you hear when you see your child writing letter, or when you hear your child calling a particular boy, you now start say, hey, this girl, I sent you to school, you are not following boys, and you start punishing the girl. I hope you know. I hope you know. I hope you know that a time will come when your teenage daughter will be very close and attracted to the opposite sex. And they will start telling you, if you're closer to them, when you have built relationship with them, they'll start telling you about that boy. You start hearing something like, David in my class, David in my class, David in my class, you'll be hearing David. I hope you know, and I hope you're prepared. So that when that time comes, you will not start beating your child. Why is it that every day, David? Why is it that every day, David? But you will know what to do to separate that relationship. Stay in touch. Stay grounded. Stay growing. All right? Important things girls should know. 1, periods are normal. Menstrual flow is not dirty. Period pain can happen. Every girl's cycle is different. Hygiene is important during menstruation, and they should never feel ashamed. They should never feel ashamed. Your children should know this. If you have a daughter who is a preteen, I don't say who is a teenager, I don't say who is 20 years old, I mean a daughter from preteen, from age 6, from age 7, your daughter should know these things that I have mentioned. Your daughter should know these things that I have mentioned. Because some of us push our children, we push our girls to boarding school. We did not bother to teach them anything that has to do with menstrual flow. We just assume the school will do it. The school will do it. We will repent. We will repent. We will repent. Okay? Teach them how to use sanitary pad. Whenever we're having conversation about puberty, about menstrual flow, I make sure to go with a sanitary pad. Sometimes we have Zobo drink to illustrate period, and then how to change pad, pants, and all that. Please teach your children. Proper disposal of pad. Teach them how to dispose pad. Teach them how to bathe regularly. If you're listening to me tonight and you have a 7-year-old and you're still bathing that 7-year-old, you're doing that child a disservice. You're doing that child a disservice. At some point, allow that child to bathe themselves. That child should be able to bathe themselves at some point. Let them start practicing it. Let them start practicing it. You can do it, you can alternate it. Maybe out of 7 days in a week, you can bathe the child 4 times. Allow the child to bathe themselves 3 times. Or you can bathe the child in the morning, let the child bathe themselves in the night, or anyhow, but let the child be practicing it. It's part of learning. It's part of learning. Teach your girls to wear clean underwear, and of course, tracking menstrual cycle. I have a book, my first period book. Although we're trying to print it, to get the hard copy of it, is currently on soft copy. You can get one and read it with your child. I always encourage parents, whenever you get a book for children, make sure you read the book and explain it to your child. I think the book is going for 2005 or thereabout. And then we also have how to teach sex education, or sex education made easy for parents. You can grab it. It's on soft copy also. I think it's as low as 2,000 naira or 1,500. You can get it and teach your child how to understand how you can have the conversation about this whole thing. Now, let's look at emotional support for girls as they move into, puberty. One, girls should understand that they're not supposed to be embarrassed, or they're not supposed to feel embarrassed. Yeah, they are not supposed to feel embarrassed. That puberty is a time of transition. It happens to everybody. It happens just the way I teach my kids. I tell them it happened to me. I was this. In fact, till today, I'm still, everybody you see, every woman you see pass through it, and yours will not be an exception. It's an indication that you're growing, that your body is normal. These are the things your child should know. And please stop comparing your children with another or other children. You know that development happens differently. Sometimes you see some girls with their 8 and the chest is full already. Some are 10 and the chest is full already. Please understand that that is a biological makeup. Sometimes, in fact, when we were growing up, I used to have this classmate that her mommy will always beat. Why? The mother said that her child had big boobs, and the big breast was because boys were touching it, which actually was not true. It was not true, right? That's a biological makeup. But out of ignorance, the mother decided to be punishing, her for something she had no control over. And this girl kept, suffering, kept being punished because she had big boobs. They said it's because boys were pressing it, so he grew bigger. It's not true. That's a biological makeup. That's a biological makeup. Just the way you cannot choose your height, that's the way you cannot choose your body type also. So that is it. Your children should be confident in their body. Let them be confident in their body. See, if we start teaching girls from this age, from younger age, to be confident in their body, they will not be under any pressure to go and do BBL, QQL, all these things that are raining. They won't. They will be confident in the body that God has given them, right? And we adults, we should avoid mocking body changes. Some of us, we mock. You see girls that are transitioning, you mock them. You say, see this one, small guy like you, see the big thing, the big orange in your chest. You're mocking the child. You're mocking the child. Please, we need to reassure our girls that body changes are normal and they are healthy. All right? So for the boys, if you have a boy, of course, you should understand that voice deepening, growth spouts, broader shoulder, hair growth on face, arm, underarm, chest, private areas, increased sweating and body odor, pimples, oily skin, erection, wet dreams, emotional changes, all these things happen as a result of puberty. So your preteen boy, your son who is 8 years old, should already know these things. Should already know wet dream. Should already know what erection means, especially the early morning erection. So don't go about beating your child. You're sleeping, you're dreaming about woman. That's why you woke up with morning erection. It's part of their biological makeup. It's the hormone that is acting out. In fact, according to Dr. that I listened to one of his videos last week, he said that morning erection is the body trying to, reset itself at the point the men are sleeping. The time of rest, the body tries to reset itself, and part of saying, oh, I've done a successful reset, is that erection in the morning. So boys need to understand that wet dreams happen when semen comes out of the penis during sleep. It is a normal part of growing up for many boys. So please, when you're teaching your children about puberty, can I ask you to use the right word? Today, go and teach your child about wet dream. If you have a son, teach your son about wet dream. And don't go and be teaching your PP. I don't ask you to teach PP. I'm asking you to go and pronounce it the right way. Pronounce it the way it should be. Pronounce it the way it should be. Now, so many things, or the things that boys should know. One, wet dreams are normal. Two, it does not mean something is wrong. Boys should not be ashamed. Hygiene after wet dream is important. So your child should know that wet dream is normal. Not when they wake up in the morning and they see semen inside their period, inside the boxers, or maybe little semen coming out from, they start panicking. Let them understand it is your responsibility to guide your children. So let's look at hygiene education for boys. One, daily bathing. Teach boys to bathe morning and evening. Teach them to use deodorant. Teach them to change underwear regularly. Teach them to care for their acne. Let them understand that pimple and acne are normal growing up. Teach them to keep their private areas clean, and also teach them to wear clean clothes. These are part of puberty education that your children should know. So when boys may feel confused, boys may feel under pressure, boys may compare their body, some of them will compare their penis to other boys. All these things are part of the thing. So they need emotional support. The boy child needs emotional support. It's not only girls. Boys also need emotional support. Now, during puberty, what are the things that are likely to happen during puberty for both boys and girls? Mood swing. I explained this before, and I said if you wake up in the morning or you come in and you see your daughter experiencing mood swing, please address the emotion behind the behavior, not the behavior. Address, don't say, oh, this girl, you woke up this morning, you did not greet me. Oh yeah, kneel down, raise your hand, be punished. And no, ask why. There's always an emotion driving the behavior, and that is mood swing, and is part of, or is prevalent in teenagers because it's part of their transition process. Another one is anger. If you notice your child overly, being angry almost every time, please note that it is also part of the developmental changes that are happening in their body. Sensitivity, anxiety, attraction, and crushes. Those of you that have teenagers, even preteens, your children are going to crush on people on the opposite gender. Understand that a point will come where your child will have a crush, where your daughter will have a crush, where your son will have a crush. When that time comes, please don't crush them. Don't crush them. Gently guide them through that process, because it's just something that will happen for a period of time, and before you know it, it will fizzle away. So don't crush your children. Don't kill them. Don't beat them. Don't say, this girl, I've told you. Gently guide them, instruct them, direct them, train them, teach them. All right. Now, the next one, increase self-consciousness. That is where you see, for the girls, you see them always in the mirror, trying to check themselves out, check out this, check out that, check these ones, that are being self-conscious. Because why? They're beginning to feel attracted to the opposite sex. All right. So the desire for independence is another thing you're likely to encounter in your child. They want to be independent. They don't want anybody controlling them. They don't want anybody telling them what to do. They just want to be independence. They just want, somebody in my house have been saying, have been pitching. Yes, we ask them, most times we ask them to, when they say they have an idea, we say, okay, pitch your idea. If you're able to convince us, we'll give you what you want. So she's been pitching for a phone. I said, okay, what she getting? That's independence. She's trying to exercise independence, to say that, oh, I'm matured, I'm big enough, I should own a phone by myself. All right. Okay. So healthy emotional habits that your children, your teenagers should know. One, journaling. Encourage your teenagers to journal. Give them, buy journal for them, give them jotter, let them journal their activities, let them journal their gratitude, let them journal everything, let them document their journey as they transition. Another thing is talking to trusted adults. I say this a lot. If you're a parent here, your children should have mentors, people they can trust to share at least your child should have one person they can trust to share their challenges, to share their moments with, except you or your husband. Another one is prayer and reflection. Your teenagers need prayer and reflection. Your preteens need prayer and reflection. Physical activity, healthy friendship, rest and sleep. All these things are necessary as your children transition through the as they transition to the teenage years, as they transition through puberty. It is essential that you as a parent walk them through puberty. You're leading them all the way. You're following them all the way. You're guiding them all the way. That is your responsibility. That is your duty. That is your assignment. That is your first assignment on earth. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have been able to grab one thing or two today. All right, I hope you've learned a thing or two. Okay, so we have a program coming up, not a resource coming up. Is called the boarding school checklist. That is because I know that by September, a lot of children will be jumping into the checklist. So the checklist helps you prepare your child for boarding school, helps you know if truly your child is ready for boarding school or not. And if you live in the city of Asaba, we have a program coming up for teenagers. It's called the transition conversation. All right, so the transition conversation is to help teenagers who are transitioning from secondary school to the university, is to help them transition smoothly into the university, to prepare them for life after secondary school, to help them have these conversations and build their expectation even as they move into the larger society. So if you have gained value from our class today, please put it into the chat box. I gained value. I love hearing and reading your feedbacks. Please don't forget to share your feedback with me. I will love to hear from you. I'm here walking you through every day, doing all I can to walk you through your parenting journey. It will be my pleasure to support your parenting journey. So I like to hear from you, and I love to hear from you. And don't forget, by July, we'll be opening our community for our private mentorship. If you are not, if you're not ready, please start preparing yourself, start getting ready, start planning to be a part of that community, because it's one of a kind community. It's nothing like what you've ever seen before. It's a community of support, it's a community of growth, a community of learning. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to our channels, where you enjoy free resources, free learning, everything. And of course, invite someone to this stream by next week. Don't come alone. If you have friends and you haven't brought them to this class, you're doing them a disservice. Please bring them, get them involved, bring them into the class. They are your circle and they need to hear from you, because When you're growing and your circle is not growing, you're actually taking a risk. So your circle deserves to be growing as you are growing. I love you and I love to hear from you. Do not forget to drop your feedback for me. I love to hear from you. From me to you is good night and happy weekend.